Doesn't the view over the desert, accompanied with a BLT, just look splendid? I'm Dio, and welcome back to a brand new episode. We find ourselves in our little expedition camp where we have our main tent. We've got some expanded industry, and in our last episode, we even added a new temporary little workshop, which I have to admit looks really cool, and I really like how it turned out. But we are still not ready to take on the big drill and see if it still works and dig whatever we're supposed to dig up. So instead, I want to take the time and do a little bit of housekeeping, cleaning up certain things that we left unfinished, fixing things that were pointed out by you guys in the comments, and also just maybe adding something that we're really going to need, which could be a little cheeky iron farm, because I haven't been mining in a while and I don't have the diamonds to buy the iron, so we need to build one. Plus it will only be beneficial for all future expeditions. So let's start at the beginning, and well, it's not this piece of map. We will do that, but that's not it. The first thing we need to do is sort the overflow in this area, because you see we currently crush down the cobble to give us gravel, and the gravel gives us sand, flint, and clay, and we're currently filled up on clay, I do believe, or even flint, or even both of them. I do think it's the flint. So what I'm thinking is we should maybe move this storage module over one, so it's right next to this one, and that way both items can then still get filtered into either of the two storage rooms or storage cylinders if they have space. But if they don't, then we'll add an additional storage module over here that will just pick up the overflow items, namely the flint and the clay balls, and it will put them in the temporary little buffer, and after that it will just, well, push it down into lava, because if the storage modules are full, we're not going to need it now, so we can burn it. So yeah, let's quickly grab a bunch of materials and see if we can sort out the first of a few of the hiccups. Okay, so I think the easiest way for us to move this over one block will be using a minecart contraption. So let's just clear out the area around this a little bit and rip this out, and we need to go down at least one block to here. We're going to put on a track, put on our assembler, lock rotation, put on our minecart, and then we're just going to glue this together, and then I don't think this is going to take the belt along. It might. Okay, it's fine. It's simple enough to pick up that item over there. I'm just going to grab a clay ball because we're going to have to do a little filter. And now we can just power this by grabbing a lever. I should have done that before. There we go. We've got that. We're going to do this. We're going to power it. We'll pick it up. And we're just going to remove all of this. And now we can just place it down right next to it. So again, just that. Lock the rotation, and if we place it down, it should instantly place it. Yep, we can undo the glue, and we can just pick all of this up. We can then now go ahead and just fill in the hole again, leaving this one open, because what we need to do now is we need to first maybe stop this contraption, I think. Yeah, maybe we should do that. I do believe we can just go down here. And we can just rip out the power, which should be this one. Yeah, grand. Okay, cool. So we can fix that right now. Now we can replace this. Put it over here facing out. Insert the clay ball. Rotate it around. There we go. Barrel. And then again, we're going to do another chute over there. But this one, we're going to change around. We're going to tell it we want to put a filter on it. Allow list. Flint. Clay ball. There we go. Finish. Insert. Flip that round. And that should automatically pick up all types of, well, flint and clay balls, I guess. And then we can just do a little chute over there, a bucket of lava, and now we can just put this back. I do believe that was there, and this was just a normal block like this. And okay, that is visible. I don't know if I should maybe lower it down by 1. Yeah, okay, I'm quickly going to do that. Yeah, much better. Okay, so we've got that. So now we can just go down real quick. Again, I don't know why I closed this up. Grab ourselves the shaft again, put it there. And now it should continue. The reason why it's not continuing, I do believe there's maybe, yeah, a piece of flint there. Perfect. And we can just chuck those down. Those are all extra and they should go into there. And the rest of it gets cooked up to become glass and go into the sand storage. Perfect. So that's one little job done. And now we can tick that off and head on over to the next little project. So the next little side project is this storage container over here. And I always knew that this one will fill up and we will then start filling that one up. But I never really considered the implication of the one item that will be stuck in this chute. And the logical thing to do, rip this out, put in a smart chute, and that way we can lock it. And how will we do that? Well, the basics will just be to maybe put down a threshold switch over here and telling it to detect. Oh, this does items. Stacks. How many stacks can a storage container take? I'm going to have to Google this because I am not really sure how many stacks it will take, because also things like unstackable items, do they count as a single stack or do they not count as a single stack? Oh, okay. I'm going to quickly read up on this and then we'll make a little informed decision. The answer: a single vault block contains a total of 20 stacks, thus a max size vault a total of 1,620 stacks. I nearly mispronounced stacks. So what I do think we need to make it turn off at below 20 stacks. And in this one, we're just going to ramp up to 1,600. And we leave the 20 untouched. You know what? Let's make it 1,500 just to maybe accommodate for unstackable items, because I do not know the implication. And we're going to say finish. On this, we can add ourselves a little redstone link. And because we're far away from everyone, I do believe it's okay for us to use any of these items. So chest blue and red will be barrel. And now we just need to get one on top of that little thing. Okay, maybe we can do it from this side. Yeah, we can do it from over here. So like that, we're gonna change it to receiving. Did that take? It should have taken. I do believe it did. And we're just gonna say blue on top, well, barrel on top, chest at the bottom. That is correct. Yeah, that's perfect. So now what should happen is, as soon as we reach 1,500 stacks, it will activate, it will lock this vault, this little small chute over here, and the remainder of the items will go into the top vault, which ensures that we do not lose that item stuck in that chute in the middle. So another one of the small jobs sorted. And then the last big one on our list, well, it's this little engine we built over here. You see, I resalvaged this engine from our scrap pile, and we added this little lava farm at the back, but currently it's not really producing fast enough. It is still running, but I do think we can go faster, and as soon as we produce more lava, we can pump in more water, and if we add more water, we've got more power. So if we hop on down here and take a little bit of a splash, I went ahead and cleared out this area, and well, now it will have lava in it right after I said we don't have enough, but we're still gonna add to it. So what I was thinking is, from this pipe we can add an additional lava input. Well, we can't really from this pipe. We're gonna have to pump it into the side over here. So what I was thinking, we can maybe go ahead and add a little grid in this area, which will just be another 3x3. That should be more than enough. We can chuck our little cauldrons on top. And then on top of these, we need to do dripstone at this level. So it will be the actual block of, I forgot the word, dripstone at this height, like so. And now we just need to go ahead and cap that off. And now my only question is, if I do remove that, yeah, we're going to have some sand fall. But this is fine. This is fine. We can see in and we should be able... Yeah, we can place lava all the way over there, which is perfect. We can just go ahead and cap that off as well. And let's just maybe open this like so. And I think we should at least surround it on all sides with the same block, just so when we do dig down here and we dig into this, we know that we shouldn't continue. And now we can quickly go ahead and chuck in our lava. So that's 1, 2, 3, and just do the rest real quick. Now that we have the lava in, we can go ahead and add our dripstone. So if we do this, well, our pointy dripstone, just like this. Now that's sorted, and the only thing left for us to do is just to pump it into this tank over here. And I'm thinking the easiest will be maybe just put it in straight here. So if we were to do this, and we do a pipe there and one there, we just need to make sure we disconnect this one. We bring this in like this. I guess it doesn't bother that it connects there, but let's rather do it like this. And then, oh, that's the thing. We can't do that like this. We need to do a pump over here. There we go. So that's a pump like that, pointing up. We need to do a gearbox and a cog. And now it should work. It's going to be overstressed. So what I do think we need to do is I should maybe not tie into this, but rather tie directly into the steam pump's power, or steam engine's power, which shouldn't be too difficult. I can always replace this shaft over here with gearbox, have this run down, so it's not just feature anymore, but it actually becomes a functioning part that can run down a few blocks and just down and over. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get that sorted, fix all of this, and then we should have a functioning secondary pump over here. So we got it powered and sorted, and the lava is going well down at the moment, but I'm sure it will go up in no time. But that is the last of the minor things that we need to fix. There are still some more to do, but I don't really want to do just repairs during this episode. No, I really do want to build a new factory for this area that will be beneficial to the future of this workshop. So expeditions like these, well, they're not really cheap, and I'm not only talking about the money implication. No, I'm talking about construction materials like girders and diagonal girders, which will bring us to our next factory or next project. And it is an iron factory, because I have not mined in a while and diamonds are not something I have a ton of. So why not build something that I can, well, I guess produce my own material with? So an iron farm, that is the thing. And not only that, I want to make it so that it's a little portable iron farm, because you see, it's going to stand somewhere in this temporary little dig site camp thing. And once we do have the mega workshop up, we can easily just pick it up and move it over to its forever home. And not just that, if we do decide to go on another expedition somewhere, we can just take it along if we need to. So yeah, iron farm time it is. So for those who are new, our plan of action as follow. We produce cobblestone using a cobble generator, which we can pass through a millstone or a grindstone to give us gravel. And in gravel, we then wash, and that will give us a chance to get iron. And I do believe flint is a byproduct. So not a very complicated process, but nonetheless a very important process to ensure that we don't spend another one of our shiny blue rocks to get the iron we need to continue our expedition. But now, the most important question, where? Where will we build this new iron farm? So what better place to try and find a position than right up here on Gaston's Head? So if we look on down, there are two places that I was thinking about. We can do it at the very far end and have it as after building after the workshop, the temporary little workshop, which is not a bad idea, but I am currently leaning more towards having it right over here in this position. And the reason why I'm thinking this position, well, it's mainly because I want it to look like it's been not airdropped, but let's say airdropped or delivered in this area. It's a piece of valuable equipment and we don't want it to go missing and have it put at the far end. So I do like the idea of having it right over here. We can generate all the cobble we need. We can have the iron, and then another thing is we can maybe even take the overflow of sand that we have, because this is filled up, and somehow incorporate that into this contraption to not only give us iron but also give us gold maybe. Not that we're going to need a lot of gold, but gold is always welcome. We can maybe use it as decoration. So yeah, I think this position right over here is the perfect one. Say something like this, and all we need to do now is actually start building. So let's quickly get a base in place and then we take it from there. Okay, so we have our pallet here and we need to fit the iron farm on this contraption. Thinking about it now, I'm not really sure if we're going to be able to fit a gold factory on here, but let's start with iron. So the first thing we want to do is I want to create a storage module over here that will capture all the gravel. I know it's very, very big, but it's okay. It's just to grab the gravel. It's going to be a buffer, so I'm not too worried about it. And then next thing we need to do is we need to actually feed into this container. So how that's going to work is we're going to have a bunch of chutes on top of the container, and then on top of those we will have our millstones, and these will be turning our cobble that we generate into gravel, and gravel will then fill this container. But before we can fill it with gravel, we need to actually fill these with some cobble, and I'm thinking we're just going to do something like this. So we will input the cobble into the millstones, and thinking about it now, we actually don't need to use the brass chute funnels. We can actually just use normal andesite funnels like that. That should be perfect. And then we can just go ahead and take some item drains and run them along this edge over here. We're going to have to cap it at the end so the cobble doesn't go flying off, but that's something we can do with decoration. And now the only thing left for us to do is to actually put on the cobble gen. I'm only thinking now that if we do have our cobble gen, that's our sword, our cobble gen right over here, we won't be able to add a chute, a funnel on the cobble gen. So we might have to rip this one out and that out. And can we extend this by one more? We can. But then I'll actually rip this one out. And we can rather do one more over here, say like that. It's on the edge, but I can always just extend the platform by one. I think it will look nicer if it's one longer. It's not going to be an even number, but that's minor. And I might actually leave this like this. It's fine. And then on that, we can add our brass funnel like that, pointing out. And I do believe I just need to put a piece of cobble on there, which let's quickly go grab one over here. Yeah, I have to do that. No, I'm gonna perish. Nice. That's sadly not the first time I've done it at exactly the same crushing this exact spot. So anyway, okay. And we're just gonna say cobble. So cobble will fall out, it will run over, it will get picked up by these little mills. These little mills will then process them into gravel, like mentioned. Gravel will fall down into this chute. And how I'm going to approach the whole washing of gravel, I think we're going to do our fans maybe on this level, like so. But how are we going to take out of them? That is the big question, because we won't be able to take out 2 rows. I'll be able to do 1 row. If I do a single, say, funnel over here, we'll be able to take out and wash those. But how will we be able to do a second row? Okay, so after pondering this for a few, I think what we need to do is just move everything up with 1 block. So yeah, let's do some editing magic. See, easy peasy. Okay, so how it's going to work is we're going to have cobble being generated over here. It'll flow out and this needs to move 1 back, but I will do that just now. It'll flow out. It will get picked up by these funnels pointing into the mills, not like that one, but like those. It will get processed into gravel. The gravel will make its way down into this shear vault where it gets sent out onto these drains. Very important, and I do believe this will work. If I make this exactly 32 gravel to pass over, and I make these exactly 16 gravel, or this one can be 16 and smaller, I guess. Or let's say 32 and smaller. Because if everything works out, this one will always spit out 16, thus only having 16 left. But if for some reason this one does not pick up the 16, this one will still spit out 32, which is perfect. Then down over there, we have our fans, and we're going to use leaves that we waterlog to wash these, and these will then get sent over a total of, I think 5 squares will be enough. So it's 1, 2, 3 maybe then, I guess. And then we should be able to do our secondary vault in this area, and we're going to use the same vault color. I just think we need to make them verticals. So if we were to do this all the way to that height, that should be our vault. And then we can just again add 2 brass funnels on those, which we will change to iron because we only want to get iron. Thing is, I do believe this is going to give us flint as well, so we might have to make it iron and flint, and then we can just dispose of the flint again, maybe right over here. We can just have this as a little latch, and the flint just goes into lava. Yep, I do think that could be a solution. So I'm gonna just go down a few blocks like that, and then we'll have lava over there, which means we can do another one of these right over here that will take out flint. Okay, now we need to just make sure that we move all of these. So this one, like mentioned, needs to go one back to right over there, and then we're just gonna rip out this one, have that over there, and that should be it. Let's just run over it. Cobble out, picked up, becomes gravel, gravel in there, gravel out here, gravel falls down, gravel gets washed, and picked up gets iron and flint. Flint gets put out, and then we can maybe just do a little depot with iron on the side over here. Yeah, I think that's perfect. I think that's perfect. Now, the only thing left for us to do is power this all up and decorate it. So I'm quickly going to decorate it, get some power in place, and then we can test it once we're done. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Well, I finished decorating the iron farm, and while decorating it, I did notice 2 little mistakes on my side. So let's first look at those. The first one being, this factory does not create iron ingots, but rather nuggets. So we had to replace the 2 filters on here to allow nuggets into the system. And then also this creates nuggets, so we'll get a stack of 64 at a time. It is not ideal, but we will look at automating the crafting of nuggets to ingots in the future, because this is after all an expedition camp iron farm. We can't have everything made easy, otherwise it would have not been an expedition, right? But then also, I forgot that you cannot take items off of drains directly like this. It will not work, so we had to put in a belt. If it was something like that, that would have worked, but not the way we had it set up. So those are the 2 big problems we had, and with that sorted, we can actually turn this contraption on. So to just show you, we'll open this. I'll add our little cog in here. That should turn. Cobble gets picked up, gets turned into gravel. Gravel then makes its way down here. Let's quickly see if we can see any. Here we go. It gets spat out, put down here. It slowly makes its way over to these little filters. There you go. And you can see we've got, oops, we had iron and flint and, well, gravel and everything. So it's working. Okay, I need to stop picking these things up. I'll have to do a little barrier, but yeah, it's working, and we actually have iron being produced, and we're already up to 8 nuggets, 11 nuggets. Again, it doesn't seem like much, but while we spend time in this area, it will slowly produce, and we will stock up on all the iron we will ever need. So with that iron farm build, we are one step closer to digging up the truth here in the desert. But that will have to wait because I have run out of time and our video is a bit of a different one. But nonetheless, we did a bunch of stuff that we had to do in this area to make it a little bit more livable. So let me know down in the comments, do you like our new little compact iron farm, and do you think it will produce enough in the long run for us to build our mega workshop? And also remember to like the video and do subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Till then, bye for now.